This video I have discussed, my dear students, regarding the nominal GDP and real GDP. So once again I defined it. Real GDP is that GDP which is determined on the basis of base year price, whereas nominal GDP is calculated on the basis of current year price. Previously I also told that even the output does not increase, however the nominal GDP increases due to rise in price. But on the other hand, in case of real GDP, the GDP increases due to rise in output. So on that basis, here as much as the output will increase, it will be beneficial for the people because it is suitable for the comparison of international countries. It is also suitable for to get the maximum benefit for the people because the people are able to consume or utilize it even at a lower price. So on that basis we can say the real GDP is more better in compared to nominal GDP. Even I told you about the formula. So real GDP is equal to nominal GDP divided by price index into 100. So here nominal GDP is equal to real GDP, that is the real GDP into price index divided by 100. So this is the formula. And one thing, that is the GDP deflator. So GDP deflator helps to determine in the calculation of GDP. So on that basis the formula of GDP deflator is in this way. So GDP deflator, here you have seen the nominal GDP divided by real GDP into 100. So GDP deflator is also known as price index. Price index means what? It measures the average price of all goods and services. So average price indicates the GDP deflator. That's why I told you the price index or GDP deflator is suitable in the determination of GDP. Is it clear? Okay. So now that is a new topic that is known as GDP and welfare. In other words, we can say here why GDP is not a good measurement of welfare. So this is the question, basically comes in the board exam. So and it is also known as GDP and welfare, and your question will be why GDP is not a measurement of, why GDP is not a good measurement, good measurement of welfare. That is your question. So in that case we will take mostly 5 points. Okay, first, distribution of GDP. So first thing, as the GDP will increase, automatically the inequalities in the society will also increase, because in the society there are two groups. One is the rich and other is poor, and it is not possible to divide the GDP equally among all the persons. So it indicates that as much as the GDP will increase, inequalities will also create in the economy. Second, change in price. As we know that nominal GDP increases due to rise in price. Here the output is remain constant. So in that case the poor people will not be capable to utilize the commodities which is present because the price of that commodity has increased. Second, the third is the non-monetary exchange. So non-monetary exchange will not be included in GDP because there is no any perfect data that how much the monetary contribution of these people. Here we will take some example. In my house, my mother does the work from morning to evening, but for their contribution, she does not get any monetary values. Some of the people also use the leisure period of time only for their own work, and it is suitable or it increases the productivity of the society. Even the gardening is also good example of it. But for all these works, these people do not get any monetary support, and in that case their value will not be included in GDP. Next is the externalities. Externalities creates harmful and beneficial effect by the firm. Sometimes the firm release the smokes and it creates the lungs disease, blood pressure, headache and so on. Due to excessive release of gases, different kind of gases, smokes, dust, etc. But no one is ready to penalize them. On the other hand, a number of firms do some social work such as construction of park, and it increases the productivity of the people. But no one is ready to give the reward. So in this way, these values, either negative or positive, will never be included in GDP. Next is the rate of population growth. If the population growth is very high, in that case, even the GDP will increase, the people will suffer, because GDP will never increase in the ratio of increased population. So it also creates a gap between rich and poor. So all these points indicates that GDP is not a good measurement of welfare, and that's why these are the important components, so a student must explain it. Is it clear? Okay.